Hello, this is the first of a series of training videos that will discuss the steps you will need to take to develop and revise policies, standards, and procedures at UNC-Chapel Hill. As a very brief history, the UNC Office of Ethics and Policy was charged by the Chancellor with standardizing how policies are made, updated, and retired across all units at UNC. Part of that process involved defining what the terms policy, standard, and procedure mean. Historically, these terms have meant very different things to different people across campus. This specific PowerPoint presentation will discuss the standardized definitions. A policy at UNC-Chapel Hill is a written statement that mandates, specifies, or prohibits behavior in order to express basic values of the university, enhance the university's mission, ensure coordinated compliance with applicable laws and regulations, promote operational efficiency, and reduce institutional risk. Essentially, a policy is a high-level strategic document that sets aspirational goals and aligns with the university's mission and values. One example of a policy is the Policy on Person Identification, or PID, Creation, Modification, and Authentication. The document states that this policy establishes criteria to maintain accurate records for all persons affiliated with the university and to eliminate duplicate identity creation. The aspirational goal of this document is to maintain accurate records and ensure operational efficiency by avoiding duplicate records. While a policy is a high-level document that sets aspirational goals, a procedure is a tactical document that describes the processes required to accomplish an action. Procedures are not intended to be detailed help guide documents, but instead higher-level process documents, which can then point to specific and detailed instructions maintained by the appropriate unit. A procedure must be written in active voice so that it is clear who should be taking each specific action. One example of a procedure is the university's Procedure for Pregnancy and Related Medical Conditions Accommodations for Students and Applicants, which outlines the steps for seeking, evaluating, and granting requests for accommodations for students and applicants who are pregnant or have a related medical condition. This procedure does not provide screenshots or explicit details of how to fill out the required forms. Such information would be included in a help document that may be provided by the UNC Office of Equal Opportunity and Compliance if that office deems such a help document to be necessary. While we have established that policies are high-level documents and procedures are tactical documents, standards occupy a middle ground. Standards are defined as the minimum acceptable limits or rules that may be used to achieve policy implementation. One example of a standard is the university's passwords, passphrases, and other authentication methods. This standard establishes the minimum complexity of passwords for users of UNC-Chapel Hill IT systems, the frequency that such passwords must be changed, etc. To demonstrate how the policy and standard work together, the university's Policy on Information Security establishes the university's goal of protecting sensitive data from unauthorized release. The password standard then establishes the minimum complexity of passwords used to protect that sensitive data. These password requirements, the standard, may change over time as technology evolves, but the university's commitment to protecting sensitive data, the policy, is less likely to change. Next, we also need to define the term unit. A unit is defined as an organization within UNC-Chapel Hill that is led by a dean, vice chancellor, the provost, or someone who reports directly to the provost. This definition will become important on the following slides. Now that we have defined policy, standard, and procedure, we can consider scope. Policies, standards, and procedures at UNC-Chapel Hill can be divided by who they apply to. If the rules and regulations established in a policy document apply to more than one unit at the university, inform someone outside the issuing unit of rights and responsibilities, or regulate the actions of a unit as it interacts with other units on campus, the document is considered to be a university document. One example of a university policy is the UNC-Chapel Hill alcohol policy. The UNC alcohol policy establishes when, where, and to whom alcohol may be sold on campus. This document applies to every unit at UNC. In contrast with university policies, standards, and procedures, which apply to more than one unit on campus, there are documents which apply only within a specific issuing unit. Those documents are known as unit policies, standards, and procedures. Unit policies, standards, and procedures can create additional specifications, requirements, or restrictions above and beyond university policies, standards, and procedures. However, unit policies, standards, or procedures cannot contradict university policies, standards, or procedures. In the event of such a conflict, the university policy, standard, or procedure overrules the unit-level document. One example of a unit policy is the Adams School of Dentistry's Policy on Parking Validation. This policy establishes a uniform approach for parking validation at the UNC Adams School of Dentistry. As the title indicates, this document only applies at the Adams School of Dentistry. The School of Medicine or the School of Government, for example, may have different policies and procedures regarding parking validation. To review, policies at UNC-Chapel Hill are high-level strategic statements that set aspirational goals, align with the university's mission and values, and comply with all applicable laws and regulations. Standards are the minimum acceptable limits or rules that may be used to achieve policy implementation. Procedures are tactical documents that describe the processes required to accomplish an action. Finally, a unit is an organization at UNC-Chapel Hill that is led by a dean, vice chancellor, the provost, or someone who reports directly to the provost.